Hi, boys and girls. We have been talking about poetry. So we did our acrostic poem where we took our word and we wrote it vertically, and then you wrote the adjectives to describe that word. We did a concrete poem. My example was a lollipop. I brainstormed a lot of words about the lollipop, and then I wrote those words in the shape of the lollipop, of that object. We talked a little bit about the limerick poem and making lines that rhyme. The poem that we're going to talk about today is called a haiku poem. This is a 3-line, non-rhyming form of poetry. It originated in Japan. The first line has 5 syllables. The second line has 7 syllables. The third line has 5 syllables. Remember, a syllable has 1 vowel, and sometimes you can clap out syllables. For example, the word sun, that's 1 syllable. If I said sunny, there's 2 vowels in that word, 2 claps. So an example of a haiku that I wrote is, spring is in the air. So if we clap that out, spring is in the air. 5 syllables. Okay. The second line, flowers blooming, rain falling. Flowers blooming, rain falling. 7 syllables. And then my last line, earth comes back to life. Earth comes back to life. So I clapped that out. That's a little more difficult to think of something you wanted to write about. So I've been choosing things like spring because it's beautiful spring weather. But remembering how many syllables are on each line. So a lot of times haikus are about nature. Things like spring or rain. So I would suggest picking a season, for example, spring. And thinking of what kind of words can you put together that might have 5 syllables, then 7 syllables, then 3 syllables to make your haiku. So I would start by brainstorming a bunch of words about spring. What do you think about spring? And then seeing how you can put them together and then clapping them out. I would use the first line of your poem to talk about this season. Spring is, and I put in the air. Spring is, you could fill in with something else there. Spring is very pretty. So you might choose spring is and fill in with something else that you could clap out for those 5 syllables. In the second line, I wrote flowers blooming, rain falling. You might want to talk about the season. Maybe you want to talk about flowers growing, rain sprinkled. Flowers growing, windy times. You could fill in a different way here to describe the season. And your third line can kind of summarize what does the season bring. I wrote earth comes back to life. The earth what in spring? So you could think about that. This is a little more difficult type of poem. This might be something that you need someone at home to help you with, or maybe you want to write a haiku as a whole class and brainstorm about spring. But I hope you had fun learning about haikus and their origination from Japan, and that it's a different form of poetry. Have a great day.